Joining me live now is the Australian British Chamber of Commerce CEO, Ticky Fullerton. Ticky, great to see you. You know how much I love British politics. It seems to get wilder and wilder. I think we should point out that these things don't just happen overnight. They've usually been in train, in secret for quite some time.
Well, you would think that Lord Cameron, now Lord Cameron, would have put feelers out before. I mean, what we're reading from reports is that it was first heard about last Wednesday, which also seems quite short. But nevertheless, it came as a huge surprise to Suella Braverman. And you think about it now, it's not really a tick for diversity. Top 5 jobs in Britain are now all men. He's soft right. He's quite old. Forget about the Red Wall. I mean, this is a very different thing, but he's a grown-up. And really, when there was Beck talking about no change, well, actually they need stability now, one would think.
Yeah, I've already seen the letters to the 1922 committee come in, the resignations flow. Usually, we've seen this movie before, let's say, Ticky. But let's talk about David Cameron, Lord Cameron now. This is not without precedent. It has happened before, I'm told, but still.
Long time ago.
Pretty weird in 2023. But what will he do as Foreign Secretary? What are his priorities, do you think?
Well, goodness me, I mean, obviously Israel, which is what caused Suella Braverman's unravelling. Israel is very, very important. But we're sitting down here, and China is really important for us in Australia. If you're in Britain, it's Russia. And David Cameron has a track record of being very strong on the issue of Russia and Ukraine. I think untold is the possibility of what he could do with Europe. Now, of course, he was a Remainer and he didn't get enough from Europe, which arguably caused Brexit in the first place. But he has a good relationship with Brussels, and the Brits do need a trade agreement with Brussels. And I'd say the other thing about where he's going with China, now a lot of people say, no, he's a Sinophile. When he, in his time away from politics, he tried to raise $1 billion China-UK investment fund. But that all changed with COVID and the icing of relations. But it's interesting, both the UK and the US are now focused on Russia and Israel. What does that do for China in our region? And so I think the importance of AUKUS and the relationship between the UK and Australia on AUKUS will be really critical.
Yeah, certainly. I think so. I think so too. He's got a fair bit on his plate.
He does.
But also, when you look at the political dimension here, I mean, their election is due sometime next year. Do you think this changes the timing of that? When is, your best guess as to when it would be? Because it's not usually in their summer, is it?
No, towards the end of the year, I'd say. I mean, some people have said that Lord Cameron's got a 1-year contract, But look, I do think, the odds are they're 20 points behind in the polls. 20 points behind right now.
Starmer, I mean, from where we sit, Rishi Sunak looks like he's energetic. I mean, he had a great moment on the world stage, a bit of banter with Anthony Albanese about cricket. He looks young and hungry. And Keir Starmer doesn't really need to do all that much. And I think there is, a bit of conventional wisdom among the press, at least in Britain, the journalists I speak to, that the Conservatives are cooked.
Well, I think they've got a long way to go to come back. I mean, it would be, from standing from here, it would be a remarkable feat. But Keir Starmer has not imploded. In fact, he looks quite organised. And I think it'll be a very interesting time over the next few months. James Cleverly is a very interesting appointment. He said during the last reshuffle, no, they'd have to sort of drag me kicking and screaming out of the Foreign Secretary portfolio. Now he's flipped to Home Secretary. That is a very interesting move, and I think Rishi Sunak's got a huge amount ahead of him in terms of fulfilling his commitments, but we'll see. There's plenty of opportunities for banana skins between now and the end of next year.
And you know what? Predictions in politics these days is very fraught. The Tories 20 points behind, but who would have thought David Cameron would be back in the cabinet under Rishi Sunak? Who predicted that 6 years ago?
No one I know.
No, neither. Well, Ticky, a pleasure to banter with you about British politics. Always love it. We'll see you soon.
Happy birthday to His Majesty for tomorrow.
Oh, yes, very good. Thank you.